In a quiet town in the Pacific Northwest, where the streets were usually peaceful and life flowed calmly, a series of horrific murders began, shaking the local residents to their core. The police were terrified. Each new victim was killed in the same manner as those from 10 years ago, when the infamous serial killer known as the Collector roamed these streets. This killer had terrorized the region until his murders mysteriously stopped, just as suddenly as they had started. He was never caught, and his fate remained a mystery, but now it seemed like the Collector had returned. The victims were found in the same places with the same disturbing marks, as if history was repeating itself. Young detective Tom Cartwright, recently transferred to the town, was immediately drawn into the series of murders. Like many others, he believed that the real Collector was long dead, but now he wasn't so sure. Day and night, Tom pored over old case files, finding overlooked coincidences and rereading witness statements. He started to notice something strange. The new murders were happening on a strict schedule, at the same times on the same days, as if the copycat was performing a gruesome ritual. Soon, a mysterious man in a long coat began appearing around town. Someone who seemed familiar, though no one could place where they'd seen him before. He always showed up near the crime scenes, as if an invisible witness, disappearing before anyone could question him. Obsessed with the case, Tom started noticing this figure more and more. At night, he saw his reflection in mirrors, as if the man was watching him, driving him to frantically chase his shadow. One night, unable to bear the tension, Tom decided to follow him. The stranger led him to an old, abandoned motel on the outskirts of town, a place that had been closed for years after mysterious events tied to the Collector. The motel door was ajar, as if inviting him inside. Silence filled the air, broken only by the creaking of the floorboards under his feet. Tom climbed the stairs, feeling a chill that gripped his mind, like those nights when he had revisited the crime scene photos. In one of the rooms, Tom found the man sitting in an old chair, shrouded in shadows, his eyes glinting in the dim light of the flashlight. "You've been looking for me, detective," he said with a faint smile. "Are you the killer? The copycat?" Tom blurted out, gripping his gun. "Why did you do all this?" The man leaned forward, revealing his haggard face marked by deep exhaustion. "I'm just a fan. I used to read about the Collector and admired his genius. I wanted to be like him, to recreate his murders because, like him, I felt empty. But I'm not the real deal. I'm just a pathetic copy." Tom's heart tightened. Inside this copycat, there was no dark power, no malevolent genius. He was just a man trying to be someone else. "But why? Why did you keep going?" the detective asked, stepping closer. The man let out a weary chuckle and began to cough. His body shook as he wiped blood from his lips. "I'm sick. I was diagnosed with an incurable illness a few months ago. I wanted to be remembered, even if only as a shadow of a great killer. But my death is closer than you think. I have about 8 minutes left." Tom stood frozen. He didn't know how to respond. The man continued speaking, gasping more frequently. "I'm not the real one, never was, and no one will remember me. The Collector, he's already dead, and soon I will follow." Time seemed to stretch out, as if life itself was suspended in the air. Tom watched as the copycat's strength drained away. After 8 minutes, his breathing stopped. The motel returned to its eerie silence. Tom closed his eyes, realizing the tragic and pointless fate of this man. The true killer had long passed, and this man was merely his weak shadow, destroyed not only by disease, but by his own delusion of grandeur. The story was over, but the sense of loss would remain forever.